record. Good evening, viewers. Hope all of you are really doing truly well. And as we keep saying, you need to stay safe as we are completely unlocking now. Having said that, we are here with our second episode of Power of Nutrition, something that we truly believe in, Power of Nutrition series. And we come with our next episode, which is on a very interesting topic. And before I go over to that, I would still want to quickly give you a quick note as usual that and also introduce our platform to you. TRUWELLTH is an integrative healthcare initiative guiding patients and healthy individuals to overcome their health concerns and manage self-health to reach the ultimate goal of holistic health and happiness. TRUWELLTH aims to help you separate science from hype by sharing authentic knowledge and wisdom from healthcare and nutrition stalwarts so you can make the right health and nutrition choices. It also desires to unleash the therapeutic role and potential of nutrition in curing and preventing diseases of today, which even modern medicine is unable to partly or completely treat. TRUWELLTH provides integrative and personalized health and nutrition advice to achieve the ultimate goal of health and happiness. A quick note, these TRUWELLTH Life programs are organized for education and spreading more awareness to reach the ultimate goal of health and happiness. The knowledge and experiences shared by the speaker and other participants cannot be treated as consultation. Every individual is different and hence an integrative personalized consultation to prevent or cure ailments. So for that, you can reach our consultants on 98200 or visit our website www.truewealth.in to ask any questions as well. You can call us on 98200 text us on the same, or you could actually put your comments into the live platforms where we are listening into. For example, if you're on Facebook, you can actually type in your questions, concerns in the Facebook Live box. Having said that, whatever questions and concerns you would actually send out to us, I'm sure we will try to do more than justice, but remember that this program is not intended to provide any information on COVID-19 and related treatment. You should approach the hospitals and doctors that are assigned by the authorities for the same. With that, I really want to give you a quick introduction of myself. I'm, of course, a nutrition expert and founder and CEO of TRUWELLTH Integrative Healthcare and Health Centers. And I'm also the founder and CEO of RSG Energy and Nutrition in Healthcare Private Limited. I firmly believe that nutrition as a therapy can be modern day's most effective and safe truth in so many ailments, right from arthritis, inflammatory bowel, digestive diseases, diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, to metabolic syndrome, pre-geriatric, geriatric health, infertility, intensive care, and of course, the most important thing that we are struggling and battling is the infections immunity. That's why I'm really on a mission to found, put together integrative healthcare through TRUWELLTH integrative healthcare clinics across. The aim is to go across the country and also abroad. TRUWELLTH strongly believes, as I said, in an integrative healthcare approach. And I also have about 20 years of experience in nutrition formulations, continuing medical education, business and strategy consulting, and a lot more. I have an MSc, that is a Master's of Science degree from the Science Hospital, and also I have done an MBA in marketing. I have worked across therapy areas like orthopedics, therapeutic nutrition, gynecology, gastroenterology, cardiodiabetes, pediatrics, antibiotics, and a lot more. I've globally worked with a lot of pharmaceutical and nutraceutical companies, as well as in India. To name a few that are out there, Bristol Myers Squibb, to Boehringer, to J&J, that is all, Roche, a lot of other companies like Abbott, Novartis, and many more of them. I have been a speaker at many of the conferences. That's a little bit about me, but today really we are going to speak about this very important topic, which I said, and it's going to be a very interesting hearing, I hope, for you all to learn something new, that is exploring. And I wouldn't say it's new, it's really true. And something that's true cannot be new. Exploring the science of intuitive eating. So what really is intuitive eating is something I am going to actually run you through today. So very happy to be with you today. It's like I said, it's going to be an interesting discussion. Intuitive eating, has any of you heard about it? Yes, no. A lot of them I know say no, but hey, that is something that we are born with. So, however, the diet culture that we've experienced for so many decades now has really changed our eating mentality, so that we no longer listen to our body's signals. Instead, we are swayed and lured by what is fashionable or what the society feels is right. It's like the society determines if we are in good shape, society determines if we're healthy. That's how we have let each other build the society's feel. So we are a part of the society, of course, and we need to, however, we need to understand that we need to heal our body and mind from this diet and actually move towards an internal, real relationship with food as nutrition. I'd like to actually share a couple of slides there. Of course, this is a favorite slide, and when you see this food, what's the feeling that you get? Does that give you an impression that food is evil? But that's what diet mentality says. Oh, that's a lot of food, and that looks nice, but I can't eat it. But you know what? Food really heals and prevents ailments. So that's what is the nutrition mentality, which we really need to get to. Look how diet actually looks. You know, we think wow, I'm on a dieting. We keep flaunting, saying that I'm on a diet. That's why I lost weight. And then what happens? Day one, you're excited to eat the salad. Day 14, you start getting bored of the salad. Day 21, you really start dreaming about ice creams, your Indian sweets, or an apple pie, and you're still sadly eating the salad. But day 30, you can't just give up with your with that craving of yours, and you go and binge on whatever is the best that's available, or if you can actually go out and get the favorite, and you start binging and hogging onto it. And then what happens? You've broken your diet. And once you've broken your diet, then what happens? You start getting grumpy, and you start feeling, oh God, I have actually missed my diet and I've lost control on myself. And then after some time, you again get back to the diet. So this whole cycle of, depriving yourself, making yourself sad, and then making yourself crave, and then getting frustrated that the diet is not working, is what we really need to get over. I mean, dietary fads rarely suit anyone, yet we keep punishing not only our minds but body too, eating foods in order to achieve what we think should be our dream body. This gives rise to eating disorders, self-hatred, frustration, stress, and I'm sure a lot of us have felt it. This is because we let outsiders tell us what we should feed on instead of listening to our inside. So, outside or inside is really a decision we have to take. My goal today is to actually reawaken. I am saying reawaken, not awaken. Reawaken the intuitive eater inside you. Help rebuild the lovely relationship with food and nutrition, which has the capacity, I strongly feel, to heal and prevent ailments, including weight loss. So intuitive eating, um, and I can actually speak on intuitive eating. It is really a nutrition approach. So understand, you have to rely on that internal satiety and hunger signals, letting your body tell you what, when, and how much to eat. We are all born intuitive eaters. The simplest example is babies. When they feel hungry, they start crying and they eat, and then or they drink milk, and then they stop drinking milk or stop eating until they feel hungry again. So that could happen in few minutes, or that can happen in a few hours. But they'll once they're hungry, they'll drink milk and eat, if they're whenever you start feeding them, and they just stop eating when they will not even take another spoon into their mouth if they're not hungry. And what are we doing? As we grow older, we start setting rules and restrictions around food. We really lose our inner intuitive eater out there. We really, we decide what's going to be the plate size. We have to finish everything on the plate. That's a rule. What time you're going to eat. We learn certain foods are bad for us and others are good, causing us to feel guilty about ourselves. And when we eat certain foods and say they're good, and when we eat the others, we say they're bad. Intuitive eating is, however, exactly opposite to that. We have to keep it nutrition behavior focused. It has to be behavior focused, but we have to have a nutrition attitude to it. So it has to be a nutrition attitude rather than having rules that govern us. And intuitive eating actually is about freedom. It's complete freedom. There are no counting calories. It is not about measuring cups, bowls, spoons, measuring your portion sizes, or following a restrictive one size fits all meal plan. Instead, it's about learning to eat outside of the diet boundaries. Again, putting the focus on your internal cues like fullness, hunger, satisfaction, and let it tell you. Intuitive eaters have the unconditional permission to eat guilt-free whatever they want. This is how we need to really start thinking. They know when they want veggies. They know when they want a dessert. They know when they feel they want to drink water. But we are forgetting all this. Instead, We are just trying to work everything around rules. Now I'm supposed to eat a spoonful of this. Now I'm supposed to start my day with this drink. Then I'm supposed to do 12 o'clock. I'm supposed to do this. 2 o'clock. I'm supposed to do that. No, no, no. But I've eaten too much, so I have to probably just now eat my next meal only in the night. I can't eat more than 2 meals. So all these different rules and fundamentals are really making us lose what we are actually. I want to share an interesting slide here, and this will sort of, this is actually my basis of intuitiveness and intuitive eating. Just if you are, and you'll be surprised to this, see the slide, and this slide really is about whom? Albert Einstein. Look what he says about intuition. He says the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. So I'm saying intuitive eating is a sacred gift which we always have with us. And the rational mind, however, is a faithful servant. We have created a society, he says, that honors the servant and has forgotten the gifts. So we are honoring the servant, we are honoring the dieting, the rules. However, I'm not denying the fact that when there are bigger health issues, you should not follow rules and should not follow diets. But regularly, usually, we've stopped eating intuitively. And it is extremely important that we stop being faithful, being a faithful servant, and go back to an intuitive mind, which is very, very important. So here's what I feel, which is why intuitive eating can actually help you keep health focus versus weight focus. And believe me, this helps you lose weight much better and a long term and maintain it as well. And at the same time helps you keeps your energy boosted. So it can help you energy versus having an unsuccessful life. And it will help you build mindfulness versus the depression and anxiety. Believe me, food has such excellent power, and I'm sure a lot of you might have realized that through this lockdown that so many of you have been cooking several recipes, enjoying food together, sitting at a table. All that has happened. So understand these three things have to be in focus. Dieting versus intuitive eating, it looks like this. Dieting says, oh, how do I look? And intuitive eating says, how do I feel? Dieting then says, how many calories are in this? Well, as intuitive eating is saying, will I feel energized? Am I satisfied? Am I done? And a dieting approach will say, I exercise so I can eat. However, it should be that I exercise because it makes me feel happy, makes my inner core happy. And it makes us feel happy when we start regularly exercising and we don't like to give up. I can't trust myself with food, is what a dieting approach will say. However, intuitive eating will say that I will listen to my body's cues. And listening to the body's cues is extremely important. So, of course, going over what really are the fundamentals of intuitive eating. Let's understand what are the fundamentals of intuitive eating. Firstly, nutrition and not diet approach. Understand that diet mentality means thinking that there is a diet that will shape you into your ideal you. That's a setup for failure. Research proves that act of dieting only increases your risk of gaining weight and does not work in the long run. We all know that. We all lose weight and then we gain even faster, and it's most difficult to maintain for most of us. If dieting is the problem, then can it be actually the solution? So reject the idea of the fact that there are any good diets really out there for you. It's not diet, it's nutrition. Fundamentals of intuitive eating also secondly include hunger. Now, hunger, actually understanding hunger. Hunger is really a physiological need, is what you need to understand as a major fundamental. Learning to honor the first biological signal. This is your physiological need. So, you can't deprive it. Understand, learning to honor it establishes the stage for rebuilding confidence within yourself about food. Where does your body feel the physical feelings of hunger? Maybe a gnawing emptiness in your stomach, perhaps a subtle nibble in your throat or esophagus, perhaps a sense of sleepiness or lethargy that you feel, a little bit of headache, or maybe experience sensation somewhere else. How do you feel the influence of hunger on your overall energy, mood, ability to focus and concentrate? Maybe you're starting to notice increased food thinking and desire to eat. So we have to think about our desires to eat, when to eat, and understand. But we are not supposed to reach the signs of starvation. When we start getting headaches, when we start feeling extremely tired, that is the time point to probably starve. Keep your body fed with sufficient energy and carbohydrates. Otherwise, a primal drive to overeat can be triggered. And a lot of dieting individuals would be experiencing it. In our minds, we have set so many rules that we can no longer hear our bodies. And when we are disconnected from our bodies, it becomes difficult and sometimes impossible to pay attention to our hunger cues. What is important is to know which kind of hunger you're feeling so you can actually choose the right tools to satisfy it sufficiently. Now, I'm actually going to tell you, what are classified as different types of hunger. One is, of course, your physical hunger. It comes from your body's need, which we spoke about, the typical physiological need, that your body's need of energy, manifesting itself as that gnawing sensation in your stomach, fatigue, irritability, headaches, shakiness, and moodiness. That's hunger. When we physically are hungry, and when we are physically hungry, we should eat. That's most important. And emotional hunger, it comes from having an unsatisfied emotional need that boosts your desire to eat. A lot of people may refer to binge eating as to emotional eating, but binge is normally to suppress negative emotions. Emotional hunger usually comes on quickly, as is joined with an intense, uncomfortable emotion, which can be sadness, anxiety, loneliness. You feel it more from your head and not actually your stomach. So understand your emotional hunger. Then the taste hunger, which we all are such slaves of again. It is present when you're craving something specific to understand. And an example is that if you're satisfied with your meal at a restaurant, but you still want a dessert, that means you're eating when you are not hungry anymore. But that is, again, normal. Understand. Necessity hunger, it isn't truly a hunger, but more like a need to eat and anticipation hunger coming later. So for example, if you have to go for an office meeting, then you know that you're not going to be able to step out and eat, so you are going to eat before that. Or if you're going to have a sports class, your child has a sports class child, or you know that you have to get him fed before he goes for the class. And this type of hunger is valid and very important to pay attention to, as it comes from your need for nourishment. For instance, you partied hard and you came back craving veggies and green juice. Our bodies are smart. They exactly know what nutrients that they need. And and mark what I'm saying right now. They really know what they want to eat. And in order to feel and function nicely, we must give our bodies what they want. It's just like if you eat a pack of chips, you need to drink a lot of water. Your body understands that the extra salt has to be flushed out. So these are things which our body gives us very, very important cues, and we need to understand. It is important to understand that each of these types of hungers that I told you are valid and normal. We may have been told that only physical hunger is real, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. So hunger and food has more work to do apart from just the physical hunger that we are normally coached. Another important thing I'll of course want to share a slide again on, because some of these visuals actually make the talk a little bit less boring, though it's an interesting topic, is to listen to your gut feeling. Now, when we are talking to about listening to your gut feeling, this exactly is what you really need to understand when you feel hungry. And believe and scientifically, you know that gut and brain axis, which is that your gut is connected directly with your brain. So they send signals back and forth to each other. So understand that when that gut feeling is there, it's like your mind, body, and soul all are hungry and all need to be fed. What more do we need to say when you need to be fed? You need to be fed. Now, here's a nice example. Here's what a dieter would do. He goes to a party, office party. He will not eat a pizza, but he really wants to eat. So he goes home and then overeats at dinner because he still has that craving to satisfy. However, intuitive eater, what will he do? He's smart. He will satiate his craving, his hunger. He'll eat a slice of pizza. He won't eat more of it. He'll eat a slice of pizza and then go home, have a light dinner because now he's lesser hungry. And you see what gets more balanced then. What more can be a better example than this? And then, of course, thirdly, it's important to stop categorizing foods as food. That is another thing which we keep doing. We have to make peace with food, allow all kinds of food into our diet, and give ourselves unconditional permission to eat. This keeps you devoid of nutritional deficiencies, not only the cravings. Helps you keep it of course will keep you depriving yourself of food, which normally results into overeating cravings, but nutritional deficiencies, those are very important. And challenge those thoughts in your head that declare, that this is good and this is bad. Keep challenging so that you're actually going to come out of those rules that we know that are set and are right. And fourthly, it's important to feel your fullness. Listen for your body signals again here. It's all about your body signals that will tell you that you're satiated of food. Bring more awareness and consciousness to your meals. Plan a time to enjoy a meal in an optimal setting. Not always a candlelight, but a decent light. And the idea is to create a space that is pleasant and free from distractions as much as possible, and then turn off the electronics and eat while sitting down. So give importance to the food. It is not about not being able to watch TV to make you feel nice, but it is about honoring the food. The food is actually what is keeping you going. So in a day, at least twice, try to make an attempt, or at least once, give it that importance to that there are no distractions and you sit down and eat. So you can try to sit down with your family and eat, or sit down yourself and eat. It is a powerful way actually to reconnect your body and food. And I would totally agree that it is a sacred time. Try to eat a meal with your dominant hand again. This exercise immediately disrupts our habits, forcing us to pay more attention to what we're doing. We're trying to eat it with both hands, using anything and eating actually diverts you from the whole process of eating. So use your dominant hand to eat. And which is why in our Indian culture, we do eat with our right hand. And we make sure that our hand stays as much clean. So we're focusing on how we're eating, what we're eating. Pause in the middle of the meal and check what's your taste experience. Did you like it? Are the hunger cues starting to fade out? Are small signs of fullness coming up? Continue eating until you feel comfortable. And what kind of sensations do you feel in your body? We have to keep observant about it. That's the way it is determined that we are focusing on what we are eating. Simple things I'm telling you, these do not need to be made as rules really. These are simple things we just need to keep following. Now, if you see here, here is the I've put the scale in forth for you to understand. So and all of us do understand. I mean, think about it. Number one is very hungry. Point two is moderately hungry. Point three is neutral. Between 3 and 4 we go neutral. 4, 5. That's the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from very hungry to moderately hungry to neutral to moderately full and very full. Now, do understand that the goal is, now there isn't really a goal Even though I'm saying a goal, because you have to understand that between your goal has to be between you feel when you feel 2 to 2.5, that is the time you're moderately hungry. That is the time you have to eat. And when you're between 5 to 5.5, when you're moderately full, you have to realize that you have to stop eating. So don't get to the state of very hungry and very full. Now there are no goal settings here. You have to just understand what you have to pay attention to what your body is signaling to you. And this again is extremely important. And then, of course, discover the satisfaction factor. It is possible to physically, be physically full yet not feel mentally satisfied. When you that's the crux. So when you eat what you actually want, the pleasure and satisfaction you get will help you feel content. If you eat what you don't like because it is tagged to be good, and if you're unsatisfied, you'll probably continue to look for something that is going to make you feel content and satisfied, and you are likely to overeat in the process. So understand that, and that doesn't mean you have to start eating any sort of junk all the time. For that, of course, I am going to give you few more inputs in terms of understanding what food really is. But so fundamentals of intuitive eating is really satisfaction, and satisfaction is a pleasure-based principle and a focal point for intuitive eating. Aiming for satisfaction helps you find a way to eat that tastes better for your unique body. Again, it's not one size fits all process. It's a path of self connection and discovery. To practice this principle, ask yourself, what do I really want to eat? Think of flavors, textures, aromas, appearances. If you start thinking about all this, you will be able to replace aroma of one which could be unhealthy food to aromas of something which could be a healthier option. Textures, if you start understanding them, you will start identifying. Your body starts telling you at a point when you don't want to eat that unhealthy texture. Believe me. Though oily foods taste crispy, finally the whole oily feeling, your body will start telling you that it doesn't need any more of it. So try listening to all that. Do sweet, salty, buttery, rich, hot, sweet. All this has to be understood while eating. It really is getting close to food again. How do you feel? Want to feel when you're eating? Get that sense. I keep talking about the Master Chef competition, and see the way the Master Chef is actually tasting every bit of the dish, trying to mix it well, trying to get the taste, the aroma, the whole feeling of it. And look at his expressions. If that's your expression and that's the way you're feeling your foods, this is going to be a whole different thing for you. And believe me, it's going to be more than healthy than being tutored by anyone, or being taught continuously by anyone, or governed by foods. Take a look at your favorite food, with dining companions and places you like to eat. What kind of eating experiences are most satisfying? How could you incorporate more satisfaction into your routine? This is extremely important, and this actually takes you away from craving and binging, and actually eating more well. So having understood that, while this interesting session is progressing, I am actually getting some good inputs also coming from Facebook, where people are really finding the session very different and interesting. So that's good to know that something like this uh, is interesting for people to understand, and of course then follow. Um, Going over then to the sixth fundamental of intuitive eating is to cope with your emotions without using food. We often eat for reasons other from physical hunger. So food is often used to cover up unpleasant feelings and emotions. Again, something which I have been talking about through this lockdown and pandemic that we are going through, that we should be using food for taking over these unpleasant depression and anxiety feelings, and actually get more healthy. which is, believe me, possible. While food can certainly be used to soothe or cope with emotions, it can become a problem if it's the only coping mechanism that you have. So that is not that is something you have to understand, that if that is the case, it will become less effective. So you will start needing higher doses. So we have to balance our emotions. We have to cope our emotions by eating bit of what we like, and at the same time trying to divert our attention to different things, get engaged in different types of activities in the house, and that really can help us cope with emotions entirely. And food can actually be an aid in it, but should not become the only aid in it, because that can actually create problems, which it does for quite a few people. The seventh fundamental, again, is to respect your body. We often are quick to judge our bodies and criticize ourselves and also criticize others. And learning to respect our own body for how it is at that exact moment is an important part of intuitive eating. When you are too critical and don't accept yourself as you are, it can be hard or even impossible to reject the diet mentality. And believe me, that it also becomes impossible for you to lose weight or improve your health or get over ailments. You have to first realize, respect whatever situation you are in. And if you think that improving it is going to help us, we have to work on improving mechanism, but we should not be in the thought of disrespecting the body at all. And then you have to exercise your full body and mind, which is extremely important with all the seven fundamentals of intuitive eating. The eighth one, which is exercise your full body and mind, is very important. Feel the difference instead of doing exercises you think should be doing. Focus on the ones that you actually feel good. So, again, don't bring rules, stereotypes here. Understand, exercise fitness is extremely important, more important, in fact, to do something that makes you feel good. And also, if you can focus on your muscles, you can focus on your mind at the same time, your joints, bones, everything can be focused on, and you can actually get a better exercise. You can decide the number of counts, you can decide the number of exercises, type of exercises based on that. So understand that and ignore the calorie burning effect of exercise and more how you're feeling about the workout. And this, believe me, helps much more. Do you experience a boost of energy? Do you sleep better if you exercise? Uh, these questions are more important than the fact that you exercise only to eat more food or lose weight. It's not going to actually help that. So, having said that, now let's really, after understanding the fundamentals really of intuitive eating, let's go over actually what are the benefits of intuitive eating. And I would like to share some of my slides out here, where intuitive eating establishes a healthy relationship between you and food by empowering you to trust your ability to meet your needs. And this results in overall improve health, but more specifically, it can actually improve cholesterol levels. Intuitive eaters have been found to have higher levels of high density lipoproteins, which we have tagged as good fats. Then there are lower levels of triglycerides and lower cardiovascular disease risks. One of the reasons for the enhanced cardiovascular health is the improvement in the inflammation, that is the C-reactive protein marker. So this has been studied, and there are evidences. Also, there are low stress levels. One of the most notable improvement demonstrated in studies that look into intuitive eating is it's actually a psychological health indicator. We should study those, and such a lower incidence of depression and anxiety is observed. Increased energy, again, intuitive eating increases your energy because you can eat better by freeing your mind from thinking about diet and focus on more important things, you can actually boost your energy. You'll have more energy to do more and actually want to do more. This process, believe me, can help weight loss much more than dieting and then sitting in a corner, not having to do anything. So ultimately, it leads to greater productivity and better health. It also has shown to improve mental health. Diets, which of course fail to do this, food restrictions are often associated with decreased cognitive functioning, negative mood, eating disorders, weight obsession, and food dissatisfaction. When we work on these things, there are so many things we focus on for cognitive functioning. We say we should be more of DHA, fish oil. These are all nutrients. That means we're talking about eating well. Eating well is more important than getting into a weight obsession. Like I said, increasing energies can actually help lose weight better. Intuitive eating will actually make you feel better. That's why helping you to get into a better mental and physical state. It of course lowers eating disorders. Those who suffer from eating disorders mainly overindulge or restrict food. Intuitive eating resets and brings harmony to your eating habits. Your body knows how much, and when it should eat. When you are eating intuitively, you trust your body's wisdom to guide you, and it surely won't lead you into an eating disorder. And then, of course, improve body awareness. Intuitive eating is based on the interception, really, the ability to feel the small sensations in our bodies, such as fullness, hunger, and satisfaction. Research shows that those who devotedly follow their internal eating cues for a long time become more sensitive to interoceptive signals. This means that you get more attuned to those body signals when you eat intuitively. This will help you make the right decisions for your overall health and will also help you with your relationship with food. So understand this, and what more but you want this is increased level of happiness. Intuitive eating can improve your mental and physical stress. Health studies have proven this. As you become both mentally and physically healthier, your overall quality of life improves, and immunity, which we are talking about endlessly today, improves. This directly translates to an increased level of happiness and contentment. And we spoke about, finding your buddies to eat with, going to the good places, eating good food. Really, all this is such a happy and healthy feeling that we shouldn't really be deprived of in our lives by just focusing on diet. So to say, I'm also going to quickly go over this, because this is something important. You need to know what kind of an eater you are, and we normally do these smaller exercises with our patients whom we are consulting with, and you have to find out what kind of eaters they are. So if you just had a lousy day, you eat whatever you found. You find comfort in eating something like a tub of an ice cream. You grab few low carb snacks to ease your stress, and you cheer up by curling up with a movie or calling a friend. So normally it is observed that these are the four different types of people attitudes or behavior fall in these four. How do they eat, or how do they actually deal with the stress, or deal with the lousiness of the day that they had. Of course, the other type is also, while preparing dinner for your family, do you nibble onto the ingredients from the meal as you cook, spoil your appetite with snacks, make your own special low carb meal, or will hold on eating until the whole family gathers at the table. Very, very important. And these all four different things actually are showing different mentalities and different types of hungers that you could be having. It's such a beautiful process of actually analyzing all this, which we love to do with our patients. And what kind of an eater, again, are you when you go to a restaurant? Do you gobble up your meal, including the free bread, order whatever your heart and stomach desires, stick to your low carb regimen, even if your desire is higher in fat? Or do you skip the appetizer or share your dessert? So nice. And you're at work under the pressure of a deadline. Do you eat something quick at your desk? Order fast food and keep snacks in your desk? Eat your usual chicken breast and salad? Or do you keep your energy with a healthy lunch? Uh, I'm sure some of you might have guessed which of those. What we do is we first get answers for all these four types and then add up and see how many of the A's and B's and C's and D's that we've got and total it up. And then the type that really determines the type of eater that you are. And then we can actually figure out what can be done in those situations and how you can really improvise on your intuitive eating. I am not going to show you the answers today out here because they are again very, very personalized and they include a lot of different approaches that need to be used. However, having said all this, that what type of eater and everything that we have to understand the difference between a rational mind, a wise mind, and an emotional mind. Now, believe me, Einstein did tell us that rational mind is a servant. Emotional mind, we know what it is. It is something which is probably become a slave of our emotions. So both which ends are not really good for us. But a wise mind, which works with an intuitive experience thinking, will try to balance the rational and emotional, and will always listen to the inner core and will try to live mindfully. So we need to actually be this central part, and it is really the wise mind. And believe me, this wise intuitive feeling is something which we are gifted with, but we somewhere on the go get into the rule set completely and then lose it. But so for us to actually move from to be between both of this is something which we experience, but we need to understand what are the rational approaches, what are the right foods that will be eaten, so that we are going to be able to make a right intuitive choice. If a child is not exposed to different types of foods and knows only sugary sweets, the child is only going to go for sugary sweets because doesn't know about the other foods. That's the same thing we need to do with ourselves. Get educated with the right things about the foods and not roots. But what are foods? What are the healing powers? What is the good that it can actually give us? If we understand what is good and what's extremely bad, then our body will know to make better intuitive choices as well. So when we intuitively feel hungry, and about what we feel hungry is something will actually, which will get very synchronized, and this the synchronization is extremely important, and that synergy that will come together will actually help us become healthier and happier. So understand that what are the choices that are available, and uh, when we are making those choices, what are the different type of nutrients that are there? So the nutrients that are there are macronutrients, which actually contain calories. These are the ones which are actually giving us energy, and those include carbohydrates, fat, protein, and alcohol. But we do understand that we have to understand that proteins are extremely important, but carbs and fats are also essential for several processes in the body, and I'll actually go over those with you right now. Also micronutrients, they have no calories, but they are important body function and disease prevention. So water, fiber, which also are included, are under them, and vitamins and minerals. These are extremely important for us to be able to understand that this is what food is really doing to us, and that will then give us a sense of self-care. So I keep talking about having a healthy plate, but it has to go with a lot of positivity and happiness and food focus. So if you're eating, your vegetables have to be more than one fourth. Fruits have to be the remaining portion of that half of your plate. The remaining half of your plate should be one fourth of whole grains and one fourth of protein. And you have to have also good oils that go with you. And you need to know what are the good oils, and also cherish the flavors of these oils, and of course keep hydrated, which I keep talking. So do understand that macronutrients give a lot of energy. They are also important for recovery of our cells and for building bone and muscle. So based on this, we have to understand that something like this is charted out, where we need 40 to 50% of protein, fill ourselves with it, 30 to 50% of carbs is fine, and 30 to 40% is fat. This is actually a healthy option, but we have to let our bodies decide. They do understand when you need more instant energy, which will get satiated by carbs, and of course protein, which is needed when recovery is needed. So there is that inner voice which your body is actually sending out signals. So gut is sending out signals to your brain, and it does understand what is good, bad, when to eat, what to eat for you. Try to understand those signals, and next time figure out whether your body has really told you what it wants to eat, whether it wants to eat hot, it wants to eat cold, or it wants to drink a buttermilk, or if it wants it's craving probably to eat an ice cream. So do understand all these cues. When we talk about proteins, we also have to understand that proteins also give us energy. So proteins are a good source, and a lot of you might have seen that we do crave milk, cottage cheese a lot of times when we feel hungry, because these are the type of foods, if we know, they actually satiate our hunger and also make our gut feel good. So these feelings our body will always send out signals. Our body will always send us out for us to understand, but we have to focus on them and do understand that these proteins actually are important because of the crucial amino acids that they are supplying. So there has to be a good mix of the proteins, amino acids, which have which can give you energy, which can build your bones, muscles, but also help you improve your cellular immune function, fight infections, and actually recover from illnesses. So proteins are important that way, and a mix of proteins, like I said, is extremely important because it will give you different types of amino acids, which is why chicken, fish, eggs have actually good amount of protein. But for the vegetarians, we also have such meat grade options like milk, yogurt, cheese. We have our cottage cheese, and we also have nuts and different types of meats, and a lot of vegetables also, which can offer protein. So do understand that all different types of proteins need to be eaten. And then how are these proteins broken down in our body? For that, enzymes are critical. Enzymes are molecules which actually are, again, understand that proteins are broken down into amino acids. These amino acids are the ones which actually make these enzymes. So for enzymes to be acting well, first of all, enzymes need to be present. For enzymes to be present, we need to eat the right foods. So proteins have to be consumed. So it's a cycle in our body. And do understand, for any type of food to be digested, enzymes are essential. So enzymes are essential, again, as you saw out here, for developing antibodies, which are needed in immunity, and they are needed in hormones, which are exceptional, which are very important for so many different functions in our body, right from keeping our sugar under control, to the thyroid function, to our fertility functions, etc. And again, the gut has to be healthy, because the gut is which is actually going to give us the feeling. So we have to make sure that we feed it well with good bacteria, probiotics, and we make sure that a good mix of enzymes is also present, so that the foods get digested well. And if foods get digested well, the gut is going to feel well and is going to be able to give us the right signals to be able to intuitively think better. So all this is important. It isn't the case that you shouldn't focus on the real importances of food. All I'm trying to suggest out here is, don't try to keep away foods. Understand foods and eat accordingly. So there are foods which have high quantity of enzymes like coconut, banana, papaya, good amount of fruits really have them, pineapple, apples. Also raw vegetables have a lot of enzymes. So you need to actually focus on enzymes so that these enzymes should be able to digest what you eat. If you eat intuitively and if it doesn't get digested well, it won't be helpful. So it is important to understand that enzymes are important, and if digestion is well, your gut is going to be able to think better. And like I said, the micronutrients, which include, of course, fiber, and fiber has to be consumed so that our gut stays detoxed, and also it can feed the good bacteria in the stomach, which we call the prebiotics, as well for the growth of the probiotics, that is the good bacteria. So fiber is important, and also vitamins are extremely important. With the deficiencies, we have to correct them if there are any, but otherwise we have to make sure that our nutrients are giving us this. So we have to have the understanding of foods giving all the essential nutrients, because vitamins, minerals are again very important for the uptake of anything and everything really in the body, and especially for nutrients. And currently what we are really talking about, immunity nutrients, it is exceptionally important for food as well. And depression and anxiety, you have to understand, is our worst enemy. And what it does is it will make us mindlessly eat, which can be harmful. And this is where intuitive eating plays a big role. We have to rationalize between the knowledge that we have about the foods, but not become super rational about and rule based about everything, but wisely, choose with wisdom. That is extremely important when we are doing intuitive eating. So oxidative stress and inflammation is something which can be induced by depression, anxiety, which can be induced by environmental factors, and this is something which is dangerous. So it can do what the cells can get destroyed, just as the apple is getting oxidized, the cell will also get oxidized and destroyed. So do understand that inflammation and oxidative stress, which I keep stressing on, are again intrinsically going to be bad and is going to not let you eat well. So there are different ingredients again which you can focus on, from glucose to gingers to turmeric, which are there in our usual foods as well, also supplements, so that inflammation is kept down in our body. Then going over to something which we always deprive ourselves of is fats, but do understand which are good fats and bad fats. Don't keep trying to eat fried food or trying to eat sauteed food. Doesn't mean you should be using any oils. You should be focusing on oils that are good, but especially on the good fats, like you can eat ghee, flaxseed, and you can eat majorly fish, which has a good amount of oil. So you can actually satiate your feeling of eating something oily with fish. So understand that. And fish is extremely healthy because it gives omega-3 fatty acids, which has endless functions, right from fighting inflammation to cancer to boosting memory to majorly actually taking care of cardiovascular disease, especially when you have diabetes, eye health, and more. And again, water is extremely important. Water, hydrating yourself. Another nutrient which actually is 80% of our body. So we have to understand that water is needed for everything. It's needed for all our bodily processes, supporting cell growth, reproduction, transporting oxygen to all parts of the body, to lubricating our joints, absorbing nutrients, protecting organs and tissues, moistening our eyes, regulating our body temperatures, making hormones and neurotransmitters. So, for everything, hydration is important. So, in your rule book, it may be told, drink fluid at this time. That's because we're not intuitively thinking. But if you intuitively think and drink, hydrate yourself in a timely manner, that's again which is important. So do understand, everyone, that we are what we got as genes, as a genotype, which is the genes which we got from our ancestors, and the environment that we live in, plus the nutrition that we can eat. Now, the genes is something which we cannot alter. So do not try to become a size and shape of a celebrity just because you like the celebrity. You have to understand that your genotype, your genes are going to be the way you are. You're going to be that height, you're going to be that girth, and however, you have the option of staying healthy. And the environment that you're subjected to, the professional hazards that you're subjected to, will of course influence. But food has the ability to correct a lot of it. So wisely, intuitively think and actually eat. So to understand, I put this complicated diagram in the end, in forth of you to understand that food satiety or satisfaction, early, late, and this satiety includes so many of these things. It's sensory, cognitive, post-ingestive, and post-absorptive stages that you really need to understand. So it all is based on the fact, the sensation, plus the prior beliefs and associations that you have. So here is something which is important. So you have to actually where, from your childhood, in fact, mothers and parents should look at their, should focus on this from their childhood, introducing them to the right foods so their sensations and their prior beliefs and associations are in the right place with the right types of foods. So keeping them less on sugars, giving them right foods to eat, good balanced foods to eat, initially itself will prepare their intuitive minds to choose very wisely. And then the meal quality, the expectations, reward, pleasure, recognition, associations, all are in the brain. So understand that sensation of the intestine again goes to the brain, the liver metabolites, all these different types of processes happening in the body fat mass that gives the energy balance, insulin, leptin, adiponectin, all these biochemical processes that are happening in the body, which I won't go into too much of depth right now, but this is what your brain is actually processing. And believe me, the gut is connected to the brain together. So it is the gut brain axis which is working on all this. And that is why it's very important for you to listen to your gut, listen to your inner voice, instead of actually depending on someone else. And I would actually conclude this session by reiterating the fact to think intuitively while eating and wisely while eating, but understand that mentally and physically powerful you is what can actually what I actually keep talking about. Power of nutrition is mentally and physically powerful. You can actually face any challenges, any diseases in life, and can actually help you reach the ultimate goal for health and happiness. And these are some takeaways where you should be eating while you're thinking intuitively and not thinking rule based. You should eat balanced meals, understand what they are, meet your essential amino acid requirements, make sure you correct vitamin and mineral deficiencies, you eat good amount of fiber, but you have to watch the complex fibers that you're eating. Digestive enzymes sufficiency has to be managed. Probiotics are extremely important because those at times are what you are really feeding in your body. Good fats, the essentials, the omega-3s are good. Portion sizes, you shouldn't bother what you eat, when you eat, and portion sizes. All this, you should really leave it to intuitive thinking, and you have to stay hydrated, get a good quality of sleep, and make sure you have a regular, moderate physical activity. This will actually intrigue you to eat well and eat better. I am going to leave you uh, in the end with this slide of Albert Einstein, because that's in fact what is the crux of today's presentation. But before that, I would quickly just want to take a look at the and look at if there are any questions that have come onto the website. Well, I have less questions and more comments coming up saying your mission is amazing, you're doing very well. Meenakshi, thanks for encouraging me all the time with all these kind of inputs. I have been getting also inputs saying that, you know, there are there are you know, these programs are extremely this session especially extremely interesting topic. So having said that, I guess I will conclude my today's session with putting this slide on, and I hope you all will focus on intuitive eating and use the intuitive mind, as intuitive mind is really a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servants and has forgotten the gift. So don't forget the gift, go back to your intuitive thinking, and absolutely stay healthy, stay positive, is what I would say in the end. And viewers, thank you so much for encouraging always. My first show of Power of Nutrition in Immunity actually reached 15,000 people, and it was appreciated by so many of you. And that's the mission, really, to be able to drive these important topics and get them to you. Thank you very much for encouraging me and supporting the initiatives which True Wealth brings you every week with different types of ailments, different types of health issues, and also with different types of beauties. Thank you very much, and have a good remaining Sunday. We will be back with the next episode on the next Sunday with you.